In this video, we're going to be factoring out monomials, which I call backwards distribution. In order to do this, you need to know another vocabulary term called the greatest common factor. Sometimes you see it shortened down to GCF, and that just means the largest number that divides evenly into both terms. So for example, here we have 5x minus 10. I know that the number 5 divides evenly into 5 and 10. So I can actually divide out 5 into both, because 5 divided by 5 cancels out to 1, and then 1 becomes invisible in math, so we just get x. And then 10 divided by 5 is 2. Now, where does that 5 go? So that 5 is what goes on the outside, like that. And then to make sure that you did it correctly, you could always distribute, like you learned in IM1. You could do 5 times x, 5 times -2. So if you redistributed to check your answer, we would get back to our original. 5 times x is 5x, and 5 times -2 is 10. So let's try another one. It gets more difficult as we go. Okay, so 4 and 6. This one, the greatest common factor is not going to delete out. The one that's common between 4 and 6 is the number 2. So we can divide both by 2. 4 divided by 2 is going to be, I'll keep it in pink, is going to be 2. Don't forget there's an x there, so now we got 2x. And then 6 divided by 2 is 3. And now what happens to that extra 2? That extra 2 that we just divided goes on the outside. And then, of course, you could check your answer to make sure you did it correctly. Okay, this is just the beginning. Now it gets a little more difficult. As you know, the letter X stands for a number. We just don't know that number, but because this is X and X, we know that it's the same number, whatever number it is. So we can actually factor out that same number. So I'm going to factor out whatever number X is, I'm going to divide it. And now this is where your exponent properties comes into play. You know that x squared on top, 1x on the bottom, it will cancel out one of the x's, and you're left with 1x. And I know that x divided by x is going to cancel out, and all I have left is a -11. No more x. And then I can put parentheses around it, and then this x I divided out goes right there. And then if you wanted to check your answer, because this is new, you could multiply to check your answer. So check. So x times x is x squared, and then x times -11 is -11x. All right, so now the capstone, it includes the numbers and bigger letters than just to the second power. So what if we've got to the third power now? Well, the greatest common factor here is, well, I don't know. I know that I could take out 2 m's, so I'm going to do that first. I am not going to mess with the 12. So I'm going to divide by m, but wait, if I divide by 1m, I still got 3, and I got 2 here, so I can divide by the minimum number. So this one right here, I'm going to take out 2 m's, because I can. That will delete this one completely. And then this one we have, there'll be 1 m left up top. So there'll still be 1 m here. So now I'm left with 12 m plus 32. And then, parentheses, my m to the second power is on the outside now. Okay, am I done though? No, I still have 12 and 32 that I have to figure out what their most common greatest factor is. So I know that 2 divides in evenly, and so I could piecemeal it and do divide by 2, divide by 2. I would get 12 divided by 2 is 6, and 32 divided by 2 is, what's that, 16? And that's, no, 6 and 16, they also share a 2. So what if I divide it by 4? So if I divide, yeah, let's try that. So divide by 4, divide by 4. I don't know if this is going to be my greatest common, but might as well try. And now I'm going to have 12 divided by 4 is 3. And then 32 divided by 4 is 8. Yes, 3 and 8 share no more common factors. I know that because 3 is a prime number. You can't fit that into 8 at all. If it was a 9, I would be able to, but it's not. So now this 4 also has to go on the outside. Where do I put it though? You always put the number in front, the big number in front. So it's going to look like 4 in the front and then m to the second power. And then if I wanted to check it, I could always multiply 4m squared by 3m and I'd get 12m to the third power. And then 4m squared by 8, I'd get 32m squared. So you can always check your answer, but that is the answer right there. And we are done. Oop.